It encourages us to slow down, pay attention to the present moment, and observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment.
And wouldn't those qualities, if cultivated on a larger scale, lead to a more mindful community overall?
Absolutely. A community where individuals are more present, more attentive, and more capable of making thoughtful decisions. It's a beautiful vision, isn't it?
It is. And what I love about breathwork is its accessibility. It's a health solution that doesn't require expensive equipment, specialized training, or even a lot of time. It's something that anyone, regardless of their background or socioeconomic status, can practice.
That's a crucial point. Breathwork has the potential to democratize health and well-being, empowering individuals to take control of their own health and contribute to a healthier community overall. Violet Spring even suggests that breathwork could be incorporated into schools, workplaces, community centers, and healthcare settings, making it a readily available tool for stress management, emotional regulation, and overall well-being.
Ready for a deep dive into something pretty incredible.
Let's do it.
Today, we're exploring the power of breath.
Okay.
Specifically, an article called The Power of Breath, Unlocking Your Body's Hidden Healing Potential by holistic life coach Violet Spring. If you're curious about how something as simple as breathing can really unlock healing potential, you are in the right place.
You know what's really intriguing about this article is how Violet Spring bridges that ancient wisdom around breathwork with what modern science is discovering.
Yeah.
She starts with this really powerful concept of breath being a bridge between our conscious control and the automatic functions of our body.
So it's not just about, breathing to stay alive.
Right.
But about using breath as a tool.
Exactly. And the article highlights how both ancient traditions and modern science seem to converge on this idea of breath as a key to influencing our well-being.
Right.
One of the first things she dives into is the connection between the respiratory system and the nervous system.
Okay.
Particularly the vagus nerve.
Okay, the vagus nerve, that's a big one in the wellness world these days.
Yeah.
What's the link to breath work?
Well, think of the vagus nerve as a sort of super highway of communication between your brain and many of your organs.
Okay.
When we practice deep, mindful breathing, we're essentially stimulating the vagus nerve, which in turn sends signals to the body to relax and enter that rest and digest state.
So it's like hitting the brakes on the stress response.
Precisely. And that shift into the parasympathetic nervous system, thanks to vagal nerve stimulation, has a cascade of benefits. Violet Spring points out reduced stress, a boosted immune system, better control over our emotions, and even improved oxygen flow throughout the body.
It's incredible how much influence something as simple as breathing can have on so many different systems in the body.
It really is. And what's fascinating is that this isn't a new discovery. Ancient healing systems like Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine have incorporated breathwork for centuries. Think of practices like pranayama in yoga or qigong in Chinese medicine. They recognized this connection long ago.
It's like modern science is finally catching up to what these traditions knew intuitively. And speaking of science, does the article go into any of the research behind breathwork?
It does. Violet Spring does a great job of weaving in scientific studies to support the claims she's making. For instance, she mentions how research has shown that practicing pranayama can significantly reduce anxiety levels.
Wow.
And there's growing evidence that qigong can improve cardiovascular health.
So we're not just talking about anecdotal evidence. There's actual scientific backing to this.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the strengths of this article. It marries ancient wisdom with modern research to create a really compelling case for the power of breathwork. Now let's get into the practical side of things. Violet Spring outlines several specific breathing techniques in the article, and what I appreciate is how accessible she makes them sound.
Okay, so let's talk techniques. What are some of the ones she highlights?
Well, one that she starts with is box breathing, which is a technique commonly used by military personnel and first responders to manage stress in high-pressure situations. It involves inhaling for a count of 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding again for 4.
I've heard of box breathing, but never really understood the mechanics of it.
The brilliance of box breathing lies in its simplicity and its impact on the nervous system. Research shows that this rhythmic breathing pattern actually helps regulate the autonomic nervous system, leading to a decrease in the stress hormone cortisol.
So it's not just about feeling calmer, it's about actual physiological changes happening.
Exactly. And one of the key measures of the autonomic nervous system's ability to adapt to stress is something called heart rate variability, or HRV. Studies have shown that box breathing can actually improve HRV, making us more resilient to stress.
That's incredible. I'm starting to see why this technique is so popular in high-stress professions. So we've got box breathing for stress management. What else does the article recommend?
Another technique Violet Spring goes into is diaphragmatic breathing, also known as belly breathing. This one emphasizes deep, slow breaths that engage the diaphragm, which is that large dome-shaped muscle that sits below your lungs.
I've heard that diaphragmatic breathing is more efficient than shallow chest breathing. Is that true?
It absolutely is. When we breathe using our diaphragm, we're able to take in more oxygen compared to chest breathing. Violet Spring cites research that suggests diaphragmatic breathing can increase oxygen saturation by up to 15%.
Wow, that's significant. So it's not just about how we breathe, but also how much oxygen we're actually bringing into our body.
Precisely. And the benefits of diaphragmatic breathing go far beyond oxygen intake. There's a growing body of research that suggests it can improve lymphatic drainage, which is essential for detoxification. And it can also enhance blood flow to our organs, almost like giving them a gentle internal massage.
It's like a whole body tune-up just from breathing correctly.
Right. And there's even some fascinating research using imaging techniques that shows diaphragmatic breathing can have a positive impact on chronic pain.
Wow.
And even stimulate the production of nitric oxide, which is a molecule that plays a crucial role in our blood vessels and immune system.
Okay, I'm definitely feeling more mindful of my breath already.
Good.
What about pranayama, that yogic breathing practice we talked about earlier? Does the article go into detail about specific pranayama techniques?
It does. Violet Spring gives an overview of a few popular pranayama techniques, starting with Nadi Shodhana, which is also known as alternate nostril breathing.
I've heard of that one, but I've never tried it. What's the idea behind it?
Nadi Shodhana is believed to balance the energy flow in the body, promoting a sense of calm and mental clarity. It involves gently closing one nostril at a time while inhaling and exhaling through the other, creating a rhythmic flow of breath.
So it's almost like you're creating a circuit of breath between the two nostrils.
Exactly. And the article mentions that this rhythmic alternation is thought to harmonize the brain's hemispheres, leading to better focus and reduced anxiety. There's even some research that suggests alternate nostril breathing can help regulate brainwave activity, promoting a state of relaxation and mental clarity.
That's fascinating. I'm really intrigued by how these techniques can impact our mental state as well as our physical well-being. What other pranayama techniques does the article mention?
Another one she highlights is Kapalabhati, which translates to skull shining breath. This one's a bit more dynamic and involves short, forceful exhalations through the nose while keeping the inhalations passive.
That one sounds energizing.
It definitely can be. Kapalabhati is believed to stimulate the flow of prana or life force energy throughout the body, and it's often used to invigorate the mind and cleanse the respiratory system.
So we've got calming techniques like Nadi Shodhana and energizing ones like Kapalabhati. It seems like pranayama really offers a wide range of options for different needs.
It does. And Violet Spring also mentions Ujjayi breath, which is a technique that involves slightly constricting the back of your throat while breathing, creating a soft, oceanic sound.
I've actually done that one in yoga classes before. It's surprisingly relaxing.
It is. Ujjayi breath is often used in yoga practices to calm the nervous system, increase focus, and regulate body temperature. It's a really versatile technique that can be practiced on its own or incorporated into other movement practices.
It sounds like breath work really does have something to offer everyone. So we've covered box breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, and several pranayama techniques. What other breathing practices does the article delve into?
Violet Spring also introduces a technique called the 4-7-8 breath.
Okay.
Developed by Dr. Andrew Weil.
Okay.
It's specifically designed for relaxation and reducing anxiety, and she particularly recommends it for people who struggle with insomnia or stress.
I've actually heard of this one.
Oh, yeah.
Is it the one where you inhale for a certain count hold and then exhale for a longer count?
That's the one.
Okay.
You inhale for a count of 4, hold your breath for 7, and then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 8. Dr. Weil often describes it as a natural tranquilizer for the nervous system.
And what's the science behind why it works?
Yeah.
Is it really like taking a tranquilizer?
Well, not exactly like a pharmaceutical tranquilizer,
Okay.
but the effects on the nervous system are similar.
Okay.
The extended exhale in this technique is key. It helps slow down the heart rate, which in turn sends signals to the brain that it's time to relax. Many people find that practicing the 4-7-8 breath before bed helps them fall asleep easier and sleep more soundly.
So it's like a gentle way to guide your body into a state of relaxation.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be helpful for those with sleep issues.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the final technique Violet Spring covers is another one we touched on earlier, alternate nostril breathing, or Nadi Shodhana in yogic terms.
Right. We talked about how it's thought to balance energy and promote mental clarity.
Right.
But the description of how to do it sounded pretty complex.
Yeah.
Does the article break it down in a way that's easy to follow?
It does.
Okay.
Violet Spring provides clear instructions, even mentioning hand positioning. You start by comfortably sitting with your spine straight. You'll use your right hand, closing your right nostril with your thumb, and inhale deeply through your left nostril for a count of 4.
Okay.
Then you close your left nostril with your ring finger, release your thumb from your right nostril, and exhale slowly through the right for a count of 4.
Okay.
You then inhale through the right for 4, close it again, release your left nostril, and exhale for 4.
Okay.
That's one complete cycle.
Okay, so there's a definite rhythm to it, switching back and forth between nostrils.
Yeah.
But is there any scientific basis for why this might be beneficial?
There's some emerging research that suggests alternate nostril breathing may indeed have a measurable impact on brain function.
Okay.
Some studies have found that it can influence brainwave patterns, potentially promoting relaxation and improving cognitive performance.
It's amazing to think that something as simple as changing the way we breathe through our nostrils could have such a significant impact on our brain.
It is, and I think that speaks to the interconnectedness of our body and mind and how breath can act as this powerful bridge between the two.
Right.
But Violet Spring doesn't just focus on the individual benefits of breath work. She also delves into how the practice can impact communities as a whole.
That's an interesting perspective. I can see how individual well-being contributes to a healthier community, but how does she connect breathwork to that broader impact?
Well, she starts by painting a picture of what a community might look like if a significant number of people regularly practiced breathwork. She suggests we could see a decrease in overall stress levels, which would have a ripple effect in so many areas.
That makes sense. We've talked about how breathwork can reduce stress hormones like cortisol.
Right.
If more individuals in the community are managing stress effectively, wouldn't that logically lead to a calmer, more peaceful social environment?
Exactly. And reduced stress isn't just about feeling better. It has tangible impacts on physical and mental health.
Right.
People who are less stressed tend to be healthier overall. They're less likely to experience burnout, and they're often more capable of coping with challenges.
So it's not just about individual well-being, it's about creating a more resilient community.
Precisely. And Violet Spring goes on to suggest that this increased awareness of breath, this cultivation of mindfulness that comes with breathwork, could lead to greater emotional intelligence within a community.
That's an intriguing idea.
Yeah.
How does she connect breathwork to emotional intelligence?
She points out that breathwork practices often help us become more attuned to our own emotions and the sensations in our body. This heightened awareness can make us more sensitive to the emotional states of others as well.
So it's like breathwork is not only helping us regulate our own emotions, but it's also making us more empathetic and compassionate toward others.
Exactly. And when you have a community of individuals who are more aware of their own emotions and better equipped to respond to the emotions of others, it creates a more supportive and understanding social fabric.
It's like a shift from individual well-being to collective well-being, all stemming from the simple act of breathing.
Right. And Violet Spring also highlights the potential impact of breathwork on mindfulness.
Yeah.
We've already talked about how breathwork is inherently a mindfulness practice. It encourages us to slow down, pay attention to the present moment, and observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment.
And wouldn't those qualities, if cultivated on a larger scale, lead to a more mindful community overall?
Absolutely. A community where individuals are more present, more attentive, and more capable of making thoughtful decisions. It's a beautiful vision, isn't it?
It is, and what I love about breathwork is its accessibility. It's a health solution that doesn't require expensive equipment, specialized training, or even a lot of time. It's something that anyone, regardless of their background or socioeconomic status, can practice.
That's a crucial point. Breathwork has the potential to democratize health and well-being, empowering individuals to take control of their own health and contribute to a healthier community overall. Violet Spring even suggests that breathwork could be incorporated into schools, workplaces, community centers, and healthcare settings, making it a readily available tool for stress management, emotional regulation, and overall well-being.
Imagine a world where breathwork is as commonplace as brushing our teeth or taking a walk.
Yeah.
It could be a game changer for public health.
It's a powerful vision, and I believe it's achievable the more we learn about the profound impact of breathwork, the more we realize its potential to transform not only individual lives, but also the fabric of our communities.
And it all starts with each of us. Every time we take a conscious breath, every time we engage in a breathwork practice, we're not only benefiting ourselves, but also contributing to this collective shift toward greater well-being. It's a ripple effect that starts with a single breath and can spread outward to touch countless lives.
Beautifully said. And as we continue this exploration of breathwork, I invite you, our listener, to consider how consciously incorporating breathwork into your daily life might not only enhance your own well-being and mental clarity, but also ripple outward, positively impacting your interactions with others and contributing to a more harmonious and resilient community.
It's amazing to think that something as simple and accessible as breathwork can have such a profound impact on our individual well-being and even extend outwards to influence the health and harmony of our communities.
It really speaks to the interconnectedness of everything, doesn't it? Yeah. Our individual well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of those around us, and breathwork offers us this tangible tool to not only improve our own lives, but also contribute to a more positive collective experience.
As we wrap up our deep dive into Violet Spring's article, what are some key takeaways our listeners can walk away with? What can they actually put into practice?
I think one of the most important takeaways is that breathwork is a practice, not a quick fix,
Right.
It's about cultivating a mindful awareness of our breath and incorporating these techniques into our daily lives consistently.
So it's not about just doing a 5-minute breathing exercise once and expecting miracles?
Exactly. Breathwork is like any other skill. It requires practice and patience. But the beauty of it is that even small, consistent efforts can yield significant results over time.
And what I love about Violet Spring's approach is that she emphasizes the importance of finding what works best for you.
Right.
There's no one right way to practice breathwork. It's about exploring different techniques and discovering what resonates with your individual needs and preferences.
Absolutely. If you're drawn to the calming and balancing effects of alternate nostril breathing, start there. If you find that the energizing quality of Kapalabhati helps you focus, make that part of your morning routine. The key is to listen to your body and choose the techniques that feel most supportive in each moment.
And it's reassuring to know that we have a whole toolkit of breathwork techniques at our disposal, each with its unique benefits and applications.
Yeah.
Whether we're seeking stress relief, emotional regulation, enhanced focus, or simply a deeper connection to ourselves, there's a breathwork practice that can support us on that journey.
And as we've explored throughout this deep dive, the benefits of breathwork extend far beyond the individual level.
Yeah.
When we cultivate greater well-being within ourselves, we naturally radiate that outwards into our interactions with others, creating a ripple effect of positivity and harmony in our communities.
It's like a collective exhale, a shared moment of peace and interconnectedness that has the power to uplift and inspire.
Beautifully put. And as we conclude this exploration of breathwork, I invite you, our listeners, to carry this awareness with you. You breathe deeply, breathe consciously, and allow the transformative power of breath to guide you towards a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
What a wonderful way to end this journey into the world of breathwork. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive, and may your breath be a source of healing, clarity, and connection in all that you do.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, leave a comment below, and be sure to subscribe and help us build this awesome holistic heroes tribe. And while you're waiting for new episodes, check out my other videos from these playlists.